Hello everybody. So a few months ago I uploaded a Barnes& Noble haul and it surprisingly got a lot of views, more views than most of my videos, and I was like, well, that's kind of strange, but you know what, I am not complaining. So today I'm going to do another Barnes& Noble haul. I went last Wednesday, I believe, and I dropped a lot of money, which isn't very hard. I did buy a lot in a variety of things, so I thought I'd like to show you again today. Like, look at this huge bag. Like, it's like bigger than me. And it's very much heavy, but of course they're books, so of course it's going to be heavy nonetheless. I actually haven't, I've left this in the bag for almost a week because I wanted to do this haul, so probably I'll get to display them on my shelf over here. If you're not familiar with Barnes& Noble or whatever, but they, other than just being a bookseller, they sell vinyls for turntables or record players. So I always like to kind of look at their collection of what they have, and they have a huge selection of things from old to new. So it's really nice to, you know, just look through them. And funny enough, I don't even have a turntable or record player, but I am going to buy one soon. I just haven't gotten around to it, but I actually have bought vinyls and they're still in their packaging because I'm like, okay, when I do buy one, I want to at least have a variety of records to be able to choose from, so I'm not just stick listening to the same old one. Actually, I went to Barnes& Noble a few months ago and I didn't do a haul because I only picked up a few things, so I'm going to add a few of the stuff I got last time. And the reason why I'm saying this now because I bought a vinyl last time too. Just the vinyl I got this time was Lana Del Rey's Paradise EP. Because I wasn't going to plan on buying one because they can be a tad bit more expensive, anywhere from $15 to $20 or even more. Some of them that are like the deluxe ones can be up to like 40 bucks. But this one was only $13.99. Probably because it's just the EP, so it only has like 8 songs. So it only has 8 songs, where most records have a lot more, obviously. But I was like, you know, $13.99, it was the last one. And I know like the prices vary on the website versus being in store sometimes. So I thought it was like pretty inexpensive for a vinyl. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to get it because I do really enjoy this EP. The vinyl I picked up last time I was there that is still in the wrap is one of my favorites. It's Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga's Cheek to Cheek. I am in love with this album. I mean, I already have it on my iPod, so it's not like I've never heard this before, but I am in love, love, love with this. I was, a few months ago, I was going through a really tough time, just healing and being sick and stuff, so this really helped. I don't know, sometimes when you're sad, you just want to listen to kind of sad music for some weird reason, and they have like a lot of like sad songs on here, so I was just like listening to this and being over dramatic, and I don't know, it's a really good listen. I'm already a fan of a lot of jazz music, being from New Orleans, so I've always had jazz influences growing up. So I think both Gaga and Tony did an amazing job. Of course Tony did an amazing job. I mean, this is his genre of music, but I mean, I already knew Gaga was an amazing singer, but you know, it was nice to see her, you know, being able to sing different genres than her usual pop. So you might want to give this a listen. Yeah, 2 books, actually 3. I got this one last time I was there, and it was actually around October, and that's why I picked it up. This one last time, and it's like a huge book, and it is Essential Tales and Poems from Edgar Allan Poe. I guess this would be, I guess, a coffee table book where you kind of just lay it on your coffee table. No one really intends to read the whole thing. It's just more for show. But this one was, so it's called Classic Editions. BG Classic Editions. I don't know if they're all called that. In fact, they say BG Classic Editions. So they have it in a nice hardcover with a sleeve, and it's really cool because this one has like tattered edges. I picked this up because I'm obviously a fan of Edgar Allan Poe, and it has like all of his essential tales and poems. So, you know, I didn't get around to reading this around Halloween, but that doesn't mean you can't still read it. So I got that last time. Got two more this time. I bought this one, and as you can tell by the big sticker, it was only about $8 rounded up. But this is Classic Works, 2 novels and 19 short stories by F. Scott Fitzgerald. As you know, F. Scott Fitzgerald is obviously really famous for writing The Great Gatsby. This book doesn't include The Great Gatsby, but that's fine because I already own The Great Gatsby. But it includes 2 novels, which is This Side of Paradise and The Beautiful and the Damned. And I'm really excited, and I might actually read it from this book, or I might get just a smaller version, but I've been wanting to read The Beautiful and Damned for a long time. And this is like a coffee table book, so it's like, would I really sit and read this? I guess I'd look very pretentious or very studious, you know, looking like I'm reading a huge book when in reality that's only a book within a book. Bookception. These from Flappers and Philosophers and Tales of the Jazz Age, which again, kind of like what I was like expressing with my jazz album with Tony and Gaga, is that I really love this era, you know, the Roaring 20s. And what's really cool about F. Scott Fitzgerald, even though Zelda, his wife, should get more recognition because she kind of did a lot of his work and like edited and stuff, so make sure you read some of her work because she's truly underappreciated. Like about F. Scott Fitzgerald is that he's not writing from a perspective, you know, he's not someone who's living in the 80s writing about the 20s. He was really living in the 20s and really writing about what was going on. So it's kind of like an actual look of the past instead of someone's researcher thought that what it would be like in the 20s. It was actually someone who was in the 20s writing about what's going on. So it's writing from a perspective of they don't know what the future, what, you know, anything else is. They just only know this is the present. So the 20s is the present. I don't know. I'm going on a weird tangent. Another from the classic books are the classic novels. I got Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Other Classics. So it looks like this. I mostly got it because look how pretty that looks. I'm sorry, but like this is kind of what drove me to get it because I already own a really old copy of Alice in Wonderland, which is actually right over here. I'll go grab it. I own this one, if it can focus. It's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And I actually found this in my drama class like years and years ago. As you can see, it has someone's name. I'm going to cover their name, but it's dated 1977, if that will focus. And then it has like notes. That's what I love about used books. I love seeing like the notes. This one reads, "Dear, this book really isn't kid stuff. Hope you like it. Happy 14th. Love, Katie," I think. So this was obviously someone's birthday gift, but I don't know, it's just kind of cool to see like old books. So I already have Alice in Wonderland, that's why I brought this one out. It's again like a kind of a nice shelf decoration. I don't know, that was a really bad way to describe a book, but it includes Alice in Wonderland obviously, but it also has Through the Looking Glass, Sylvie and Bruno Concluded, The Hunting of the Shark, and Phantasmorgia. I don't know, I haven't heard that one before. So it's not just Alice in Wonderland, it has all of Lewis Carroll's classics. So I got that. So weird, I felt like I had a lot more because I spent so much money, but in reality it's just everything's expensive. To actual books, I got Truman Capote's Breakfast at Tiffany's. Everyone of course knows Breakfast at Tiffany's for that famous Audrey Hepburn movie. And this is the book that it was from. I thought it was like a nice light read, and I really do enjoy that movie like mostly everyone does. But if you're not familiar with the movie or the book, I will read the back for you. In this seductive, wistful masterpiece, Truman Capote created a woman whose name has entered the American idiom and whose style is a part of literary landscape. Holly Golightly, I don't know, I can't pronounce it, sorry, knows that nothing bad can ever happen to you at Tiffany's. Her wit, her poignancy continued to charm. This volume also includes three of Capote's best stories, House of Flowers, A Diamond Guitar, and A Christmas Memory, which the Saturday Review called one of the most moving stories in our language. It is a tale of two innocents, a small boy and the old woman who is his best friend, whose sweetness contains a hard, sharp kernel of truth. So that's kind of cool that it also includes a few short stories. So I don't know, I thought it was just something, a collection or something I needed in my collection. Alright, and now another book that its movie is way more famous than the actual book. It is Susanna Kayson's Girl Interrupted. Now, before I even start to read the back, Girl Interrupted is probably one of my favorite movies. It's probably my favorite Winona Ryder movie. I'm a huge Winona Ryder fan, if anyone out there wanted to know that. But Girl Interrupted was probably one of my favorite movies because it kind of touches close to home a little bit. So I've obviously seen the movie, and I kind of hate that I've already seen the movie, especially really recently. So like, it's like, ugh. In 1967, after a session with a psychiatrist she'd never seen before, 18-year-old Susanna Kayson was put into a taxi and sent to McLean Hospital. She spent most of her next 2 years in a ward for teenage girls at a psychiatric hospital as renowned for its famous clientele. Sylvia Plath, which is, again, is one of my favorite writers and poets, Robert Lowell, James Taylor, and Ray Charles, as for the progressive methods of treating those who could afford its sanctuary. Kayson's memoir, so this is actually a memoir, not just 100% fiction. Kayson's memoir encompasses horror and razor-edged perception while providing vivid portraits of her fellow patients and their keepers. It is a brilliant evocation of parallel universe set within the kaleidoscopically, I don't know if that's really a word, it's kaleidoscopically shifting landscape in late 60s. Girl Interrupted is a clear-sighted, unflinching document that gives lasting and specific dimension to our definitions of sane, insane, mental illness, and recovery. Now, this has been on like my wish list for a long time, but I didn't get it for a long time because I've already seen the movie. But when I went to the bookstore with my friend Sandra, she was not really into books as much as me, and I was like, oh, you don't like books? She's like, I just haven't gotten to the right book. So I was like, what kind of books do you like to read, or what do you want to read about? And she's like, I kind of like sad things or whatever. So the first book that came to my mind is Girl Interrupted, because it deals with someone with depression and going into a mental hospital, and it's a really interesting. So I was like, well, I'm going to buy it, and then after I read it, you can borrow it. I would not recommend this book or the movie to anyone who is impressionable or is triggered very easily, because it does deal with depression and stuff like that, and like self-harm and stuff like that. So I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's maybe like 15 and up and is able to read these things without getting triggered. Same for the movie. I don't know what the PG or the rating for the movie is. I think it's just PG-13. But yeah, it's definitely not for someone who's very sensitive and would take things too hard very easily. So, got this book. Girl Interrupted. I think this is the first one out of the bunch I'm probably going to read right away. Sorry if I sound really weird during this video. I sound like I'm about to cry, and I don't know why. I think it's the coffee I'm having that I'm like super hyper, and I'm like coughing, and I don't know. I'm not going to cry. I don't know what my issue is today. I am a collector of a lot of things. As you can tell right here, I don't know if you can tell, but I have a lot of manga because I like reading physical manga, not just the animes or reading it off like online or whatever. You can tell right here, I don't want to pull them out, but I have volumes 1 through 4 of the original Sailor Moon manga. So I decided to finally buy 5 and 6. This 5, and I bought 6, and this has Sailor Venus, and this has Chibiusa, or Sailor Mini Moon, or however you refer to her. I already read the whole manga. I just like having the physical copies. I think there's like 13 books, so I'm still a good 5 or 6 away. Don't quote me on that because I'm not trying to do math on the top of my head. I'm a reader, not a mathematician. I also picked up this one. It is Sailor Moon Short Stories, volume 2. There's actually 2 volumes, 1 and 2. Again, I've already read these, and I'm going to eventually get volume 1, but I know I like the stories in this one more. And then there's a cheeky on the cover, if it'll focus. It's a cheeky picture of Mamo-chan and Usagi-chan in bed together, and I'm like, oh my god, isn't she 15? Besides the point, So I got those, and they are $10 with tax and stuff. They're $10.99 each, so $11 each, which is expensive, I think, for kind of this stuff, but they are imported, so that's probably a big reason why they are probably so expensive. And of course they're manga, so they're just pictures, they're not stories, or written stories. So it's so funny because now I'm done. Like, the bag's empty. That's all I bought. And I even included stuff that I bought last time I was there. And it's like, how did that go by so fast? Like, I feel like I spent a lot of money. If you wanted to calculate this stuff yourself, you can tell that it was way over. Probably altogether, it was probably $100. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is all I bought plus those 2 vinyls over there. But then I'm like, books are expensive, but hey, I like having the collection. I like having it, and you know, it is what it is. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed this Barnes & Noble haul. I love Barnes & Noble hauls, so if you really enjoy these kind of hauls more than like makeup hauls or whatever, just let me know. Give this video a thumbs up. Comment, give me some book suggestions. I would love them. I would love your book suggestions, and I have all my links if you want to follow my Tumblr or whatever else in the description bar. And if you want to see more of my content, please give me a subscribe, because that really helps me. And that is it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you sometime next week.